You should be rich by now.
You should have a bigger house by now.
You should be a director
You
by
should
now.
be fit.
You should have kids.
You should get
You
married.
should be masculine.
You should have shinier
You
skin.
should have
You should be
thinner
perfect
thighs.
at your
You should
job.
know this.
You should be successful.
You
You
should
should
have
make more
traveled
money.
to be better connected.
You should do this. You should be that.
How many of you have ever been spoken to like that? Well, I used to be spoken to like that every day by my own self. This is very much the kind of self-talk that we all play in our heads. A constant stream of musts and shoulds pushing us forward, suppressing us to do this, be that, be perfect. A few weeks ago, I got an invite to speak at TEDx. I was excited at the prospect and I texted the news to some friends. I told them I want to speak about the perils of perfection, how chasing perfection is so pointless and vain. Want to see their first reactions? Perfect, perfect, perfect. We are obsessed with perfection. It's everywhere. The concept of perfection is something that I have been struggling with for almost my whole life. Growing up in a traditional community in Cyprus, one of 4 children of a family of refugees, I quickly took on a list of shoulds and musts from a very young age. That never sat well with me. It somehow felt foreign, not my own. I was a free spirit. I wanted to create impact with my work, pursue joy and fulfillment in life. So I became a finance lawyer, of all things. Now, finance lawyers are a very special breed of people. We are wired to spot a single typo in a 350-page document, which is counterintuitive, really. It goes against what your brain is programmed to do. Lawyers are often the type of people that pursue perfection. Perfection in the documents we produce, the standard of work that we deliver, the client relationships that we create. Our whole career depends on perfection. But why should the idea of perfection matter to you, particularly if you're not a lawyer? Well, because it can destroy you. Perfectionism has this way of creeping up in our lives from lots of different cracks in our fences. It can swallow us and carry us into a whole struggle to do more, buy more, gain more. Each time leading us away from our own internal bliss, away from our eudaimonia. Now, let's zoom in at a definition of perfection and think this through. So, perfectionism is the idea that if we live perfect, look perfect, and act perfect, we can minimize and avoid the pain of blame, judgment, and shame. It's a 20-ton shield that we carry around thinking it will protect us, when in fact, it's preventing us from taking flight. Fear of blame, judgment, and shame is what's hiding behind perfectionism. I know what some of you might be thinking right now. All of these perfect things I pursue by my own choice. I am the leader in my own life, right? I used to think that I was the leader in my own life. When I was 18, I remember returning from the beach one day at home. I walked in and found my mom hunched over the kitchen table, tears streaming down her blotchy face. "Your sister is breaking up with a boyfriend," she said. "She's 25 years old. They've been living together for 5 years. What will people say? Her life is ruined." I was shocked to see my mom so broken. A strong, wise, independent woman who survived the war and bore 4 kids, brought to her knees at the thought of what will people say. That moment, I realized that my parents were not always leaders in their own lives. When they became refugees, they moved to another part of Cyprus and had to build their lives from scratch. Now, being in a new place among strangers meant that there was a specific box that they had to fit in order to be accepted. They had to do good by society. That's how, as a child, I came to conclude that my duty, in turn, was to do good by my parents. I owed them at least this much. You see, the picture of who we think we ought to be is drawn deeply by others. Most commonly your father, if you're a man, your mother, if you're a woman. We also take into account influences from friends, other family, our colleagues, particularly women. So I studied hard and I worked even harder. I met my husband while I was at uni, married before I was 30, and had my kids before I was 40, all while climbing up the corporate ladder at leading international working environments. Because these are the real milestones, you see. This is what matters. I picked up a lot of advice from friends and colleagues along the way. Move to this area, send your kids to that school, work on your weaknesses, don't share your clients with others. There's only room for one of you at the top. Many of them probably well-intended, but they left me disoriented, searching for my own way to lead. On 8th of August, 2018, I woke up and could not get out of bed. We were on holidays at the time. I had a nice sunny day to look forward to, full of fun activities with my family, their voices and giggles calling for me in the background. And yet, I could not summon the energy to get out of bed, did not have the courage to go on. I had everything a woman could ever wish for: a loving husband, 4 incredible kids, a beautiful home, a promising career, success. And yet, this didn't feel right. Is this what success is really about? What does success even mean? Has anyone in the audience ever Googled that? I would advise against it. See, even Google has a claim on your own life. Not just Google, but every piece of media, advertising, social media, online platform and search engine is fighting for the right to make your decisions for you. We're not talking about the society where you live in, nor about your family or your social network trying to make your decisions for you. We're talking about a whole universe of strangers curating what your life is supposed to look like on media. And the thing with these strangers is that they have a view on everything. Any woman who's ever been pregnant can attest to that. What you should look like, what you should wear, how much you should weigh, how much you should earn, how frequently to have sex, how often to hug your child. The media will bombard you with information on everything. But this information is not real. More often than not, it's fictional. And above all, it's incomplete. Here are some personal examples. This is a photo of our family in an outing that I posted on Facebook the other day. And this is our family in any random day. This is the view that I expected to see when I reached the peak at Machu Picchu after a long, painful 8-hour backpacking hike along the Inca Trail. And this is what I actually saw when we got there. All the happy faces, carefree lives, gorgeous views are just creating an image of perfection that is unattainable. They raise our expectations to uncontrollable highs. These strangers on screen get in the driver's seat and lead our lives while we sit on the passenger seat just following along. There is countless research linking perfectionism to problems such as burnout, depression, low self-esteem, suicidal thoughts, eating disorders, and a host of other problems in children, adolescents, and adults. Research among people who had relatives who took their own lives in the US indicated that in 50% of the cases, the people described the person who committed suicide as a perfectionist. That's 1 in 2 suicides due to perfectionism. A recent research by the American Psychological Association indicated that perfectionism is increasing over time. So young generations today perceive that others are more demanding of them, they are more demanding of others, and they are more demanding of themselves. So perfectionism is a demon then. But how about the good kind of perfectionism? Our desire to excel in everything we do, break world records, climb the 7 summits, be the healthiest we can be, heal the societies of disease, build human settlements on Mars, invent and create for generations ahead. So what distinguishes this inner drive to thrive from perfectionism? It's the driving power behind it. The driving power behind our motivation to succeed. If we are motivated by fear, shame, blame, judgment, then we will inevitably live a life of constant struggle. If we're motivated by love, giving, connection, spirituality, then we will inevitably live a life of fulfillment. This is how we become leaders in our own lives. Imagine a scenario where I asked you to walk through a farmer's market, like Guy, on a Sunday morning, and collect leftover produce that the farmers will throw away. You won't get paid for it. You have 2 hours to complete the task, and you have to stack all the produce that you collect in this spot right here. You go around the stalls and manage to gather a few boxes of overripe kiwis, broccoli, some potatoes, and stack them up. And a few minutes later, a garbage truck drives in, and all the produce that you collected is thrown away. How does that feel after all your hard work? How about instead of the garbage truck, this white van shows up? They are from a hospice for people with neurodisabilities, and their faces lit up when they see your pile. Wow, this will feed all our patients for the next 3 days. Look at these kiwis. Our cook will love this. Thank you so much. A different kind of feeling this time, right? This feeling has a name. It's called creating impact through giving. This is the experience that we helped put together at our law firm a few years ago. It cost zero. We had no budget for this. It took us 5 hours to put together with support of NGO Borume. It gave us incredible pride and joy, and it helped the hospice feed their residents for 3 days. It's so easy to give. It doesn't have to be your money. It could be your time, your place at the front of the queue, your praise, a good recommendation to someone. Find the way to give. Create impact through giving. And research by Adam Grant even suggests that as a giver, you're more likely to end up at the top of the success ladder. I speak to many incredible professionals every day. Over and over again, I hear the same complaint. My team are not engaged. I feel that my own work is pointless. If I didn't do it, someone else would. There must be more to life than this. A constant stream of thoughts in their minds and no conversation with their hearts. If you cannot hear your heart yet, that's okay. There's a way to make that happen. That's exactly how I felt that sunny August morning. Study after study indicate that burnout and stress are linked to the perception that what we do does not matter, does not have any impact. The perception of impact serves as a buffer against stress, enabling people to avoid burnout and maintain their motivation and performance. In preparing for today, I also interviewed someone that I consider to be very well connected to his inner wisdom, my 12-year-old son, Alexandros. So, what's your take on perfection? I asked. Ooh, I like perfection, he said. If I grow to have the perfect job and I make a lot of money, then I can do anything I want with my life. Which is pretty much what I can do now. So scrap that. Connected, you see. This reminded me of the joke with the Greek fisherman. This fisherman went out to sea in his little boat every day and came back with his nets full of fish. One day, a rich businessman saw him pulling out the dock. He said, "Wow, you're doing very well. You should buy a second boat and double your fishing and income. You can then buy 4 boats and then a commercial fishing vessel. You could have a whole fleet of them. You could even buy a yacht." "And why would I want to do that?" asked the fisherman. "Well, if you're that rich, you can then do anything you want in life." "What would you really want to do?" asked the businessman. I would like to go fishing every day in my little boat." My son and their fisherman are onto a truth that it takes most people decades to come face to face with. The true meaning of connection. Being in touch with your roots, with the things that really drive you, the things that energize you and give you meaning in life. Your roots are your values, and they are core to you being the leader in your own life. Looking back at that morning of 8th of August 2018 fills me with wonder. I vividly recall how low I felt, how perplexed and pain. But I also recall a total lack of fear. What I felt instead was faith, a deep, ingrained faith that this will work out in the end. that I'm in a dark room right now, but the door is somewhere here, waiting to be found. My brain screamed fire, alert, but my heart whispered, shh, nothing to worry about now. All will be revealed when you're ready. In the weeks that followed my burnout, I had no appetite for all this shouting from my brain. I started observing my thoughts with amusement and listening in closer to the whispers of my heart. I woke up to 10 minutes of meditation each day and prayed every single night before sleep. I practiced breathing techniques. I allowed myself to pause and wonder at the windshields of my car on a rainy day, the feeling of the hand of my husband in my palm, the smell on my boy's hair. I started feeling stronger, more energetic, clear about the things I want to do. I started becoming a leader in my own life. And I became a leadership coach to support other people in this journey. And I thrive when I keep alive the same sense of connection with my family, my community, myself. My journey has helped me craft my own definition of success, to be complete with who I am, to be whole, to be leader in my own life. I wish you all the joy of giving, connection, and spirituality in your journeys, and the courage to listen to the whispers of your heart and lead in your own life.